The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello and good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. This is Dan Anderson wishing you very, very welcome on this webinar. This is the weekly update for those of you who are new. I see that we have some very, very good attendance numbers here today, so good to see you all. Sorry that I couldn't be here last week, but I got busy on some things that I couldn't avoid, if you like, but very, very pleased to be here now. Now, we have quite a short and sharp webinar here today, going to give you some incentive updates, talk about the Cambodia executive trip, which is a kind of a big deal, the Maldives thing, of course, and we've got a Leocoin white paper going out and a call to action. I'm going to wrap up at the end with just a few observations of where we are now and something that I think you need to understand. Now, again, we have people that listen in on these calls that are, how shall I describe them politely, competitive interest, if I put it that way. So I don't want to launch things before they're quite ready here, but I also want to give you a little bit of a roadmap of where we're going. So it'll be quite interesting. Any which way, the big update here now is, as you know, we've been talking about the ownership points incentive that we've had for bronze, silver, gold, and platinum ranks, and we've been telling you now for the last, I don't know, 6-8 weeks that this can't last forever. Well, the time has finally come. Because on the 14th of June, this will now be cut in half. So that means that this coming Wednesday/Thursday, you will be getting, as a new member coming through and going up the ranks, you'll be getting half of what you'll be getting right at the moment. That means that there's another little kind of thing to your arsenal that you can throw in because everyone likes a deadline. Everyone likes to sort of maximize their benefit. Obviously, the number one thing about direct selling is that this is also an income opportunity as well as a way to sell worthy products. But so that gives you just sort of another deadline to drive and another deadline to focus on. The next 4 days or 3 days when today is done will give you the rank award that you've had, and from the 14th it'll be cut in half. So can't say further than that. It is what it is, and all good things must come to an end. The next thing that I want to talk about is the Cambodia executive trip. Now, this is a big deal. This is the largest executive trip that the company has ever done. After 7 years, this will be one of those landmark events where we kind of there'll be a little bit of before Cambodia and after Cambodia, and you'll understand what I mean by that when I come to the end of today's GAM. But it's a big deal because we got people from, I don't know, some 20 different countries or something, and we have a huge contingent from new markets coming through there, which is a great opportunity for them to actually meet and spend some quality time with the executive leadership of Leo, and that's kind of the purpose of the executive as much as anything. But this time, we're also in the historical kind of landscape of Cambodia, where we're going to be taking you to see some things that can only be described as wonders of the world, really. It's an absolutely fantastic place with thousands and thousands of years of history and some of the most epic things that you've ever seen. That being said, you're also going to be exposed to the next country where we are now launching a new charity school project, and some of the leaders will be going away on that. We wanted to take the entire team there, but we couldn't because it would overwhelm the pupils of this school who've never seen so many foreigners in one place at one time. But then again, that is very, very cool, because that means that we have changed the lives of a community in Nepal. We're doing the same in Cambodia and bringing through what we can do education to underprivileged children, and potentially changing the lives of every single one of them and their families and their community, because we fundamentally believe in education. We fundamentally believe that a brain, once expanded, can never go back to its original dimension. And so we're fiercely proud of Cambodia school venture that we're doing there, and you'll see why if you're one of the lucky executives that go there. Otherwise, you'll have to pick up the pieces on what we release through media. But the other thing that's very, very cool today is that we've just made the commitment to go ahead with another school project in Kashmir, which is something that I'm again very, very proud of, to be working with that community, because there's some great need there, and even goes back to the earthquake of so many years ago, that many schools did not get rebuilt, etc. And people have been in the most appalling circumstances trying to further the educational needs of their children. And so when that is all done, we will have done 3 schools where children are getting an education and getting a leg up in terms of their entrepreneurship journey, if you like. We want to do this more and more and more, and we're creating a business model around that will actually drive the causes product packages that we're creating into a place where you can be very, very proud of what we and you are doing in Leo. So very, very cool. And me, Himagudia, Andy Andersson will be talking through. And what we're also doing on this executive trip is we're launching some very important new programs. And that's all I can really say about that here now. But again, the executives, we're grabbing the opportunity to share with them, to teach them, to train them, so that when they come back to your markets, they will be coming back with something that will take your Leo business to the next level. And I can't, no, let me leave that to the end of the presentation. The Global Annual Conference 2020 is, of course, the Maldives. You know about this. We're taking on an entire island there. The qualifications are going thick and fast, and every week there's people qualifying for this. So that's, again, very, very cool. I have been to the Maldives before, and I've been there with my family as well, and it's just an absolutely fantastic place. So 2020, this should absolutely be on your goal list. This should be on your bucket list to go there, because in 20 years' time, you'll be telling stories about the Maldives, and goodness knows what the context of those stories will be, but it's a miracle to behold, and you need to be there. And this is going to be the largest global annual conference that we have ever done. Now, at the moment, only 180 rooms are remaining, and that number is going down every week. So that means that for those of you who want to capitalize on this and qualify, you need to get your skates on, because this will go faster and faster. From previous experience, we know that what happens as we get towards the end of an incentive period, people start to qualify faster and faster and faster. So this is the time to pull out all the stops and go there. The other news that we have, which we're very, very proud about, proud of, is the Leo Coin white paper. As you know, we've gone through a major upgrade and a major kind of technology shift on Leo Coin, where we've joined what we deem to be the best blockchain platform, Ethereum, and so we put out a white paper on this, and it's only sort of 10 or 12 pages long, so it's kind of a marketing piece rather than a technical piece, but it explains about the innovation, explains about some of the incentives that we're running on it, some of the entrepreneurial things that we're adding to the Leo Coin, well, Leo Coin 3 if we want to call it that, but the latest iteration of Leo Coin as we go forward. It's quite a cool thing. And it's available right now on your back offices. You can download this. And so the one thing that sort of we're very proud of is that we have a proper digital currency. We have something that we're very proud of that stands and will withstand any technical scrutiny. It's just now, finally, a very, very cool coin with some strength and some muscle. And what it also has is scope for developing as we go forward into the future. We will be adding the smart contracts features to it. We'll be adding different ways that we can interact with our member base, and using our direct selling base together with the digital currency, we can now do things that can't be done easily by other people. We kind of are starting to corner a little edge of that market where we are the one direct selling digital currency that is real, exists in the real world, and has technological capabilities that are quite inspiring. For those of you who are actively engaged with this, you know that the wallets are working extremely well. The staking platform is now working. There's a few teething issues, but we are there and we are ready for the future. So everything is coming together now in Leo into a perfect storm moment. So the call to action before I close the call is taking advantage of the 14th of June date for the incentive change, obviously. Qualify for the GIC 2020 in the Maldives, goes without saying that you have to do that. But the thing that I wanted to address, especially for those of you who are new with us and haven't been with us so long, is that we routinely, or every now and then, Leo reinvents itself. And we go from one stage to the next stage. This typically in the past, and I don't know why life is like this, but this typically involves a period of challenge and a period of difficulty. And certainly we've been facing some drama and some challenges recently. As you might be aware, we have changed this structure of some UK companies, and one of the things that we've had to do is put one company into administration because there was a financial reason for that. What we have done is managed to come up with a kind of, I hesitate to say it, but it's sort of like a management buyout. And the long and short of it is that we have now got control of the company, and we've got a holding company structure being formed. And we were debating on how do we position this, and how do we kind of think about this. And we went through many different things, and I was humbled and grateful and kind of inspired by the recognition of people that I care about and people that I trust in the business that said there is only one answer here. This has to be called Andersson Holdings. It has to reflect that you, Dan, you are the brain behind this. You're the person that we follow. Blah 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 blah, and all of that is very flattering. So the long and short of it is that the company that's at the top of this structure is called Andersson Limited, and I am incredibly proud to be putting my name on this. I think that what we have here is a business that we have the potential to touch millions and millions of people, and to be associated with that, with my name, when I one day step down and my children grow up into their manhoods, they'll be looking at this and they'll be fiercely proud of the fact that our family name is on this business. So just wanted to share that with you. Now, when I say that things go through challenging periods, the other thing that our old members know is that the early bird gets the worm. So we've launched different programs and different incentives and different things, and the people that move quickly typically are the people that benefit disproportionately to the people that kind of move slowly. One of our core values, as you know, is fast is better than slow, and this becomes a natural result for how entrepreneurship works, for how building a business works. If you move with the new thing, you're always going to be benefiting much faster than the people that need proof and that comes slower later. One striking example was the DMS, and the people that were early bird adopters of that, they have benefited so much because the price in the market when we launched the product was very different from the price in the market when we concluded the product, if you like. And so the benefits that they got in terms of digital currency was absolutely extraordinary. So the early bird gets the worm, and something that we're launching next week in Cambodia to the executives will be groundbreaking. It will be taking us to the next level, and I'll talk more about that in a slide or two. But that means get ready to get ready, if you like, because next week something is coming that will change everything. The other thing, though, is another saying is that the second mouse gets the cheese. And what so that's kind of a contradiction in terms. On the one hand, the early bird gets the worm. On the other hand, the second mouse gets the cheese. And this cartoon explains that quite vividly. What we have now is people who are kind of greedy or short-term thinking, or they kind of are lacking courage, they're lacking faith. And they are being a bit nuts because we have people who are, for whatever reason, and it's not for me to criticize people for what they do, but they're kind of dumping Leo coin, and it might be that this is commercially driven from enemies or competitors of the business, what have you, but the net result of that is quite cool, and I'll explain to you why in a moment. But that means that when you are thinking with your wallet, you are typically getting into short-term thinking, and you start to motivate yourself to do foolish things, and you become like this first mouse that takes a risk because the cheese is overwhelmingly tempted. As far as I'm concerned, anyone who's selling Leo coin at the moment are absolutely crazy. They are not thinking straight because of what I'm going to explain to you next. Because if you look at our company, we launched in 2012. We launched Leo coin in 2014. And over the years, we've built a sizable community in many countries. We have sales every week from 50 or 60 or even more countries. We have registrations in approaching 200 different countries. And that's a journey that took us 7 years. So we now have a community which is represented by this white dot of something like 500,000 registrations. So there's 500,000 registrations in Leo, and that's a terrific result. And it's just the beginning. Because where we are now in 2019 is that we now have a footprint on a global level, on a 24-hour clock. We have people on the ground everywhere. We have massive unexplored markets. We have huge markets where we have nothing. We have some of the biggest markets in the world where we've just scratched the scratch of the surface on top. And we are just about to get ready to build our business into the global market. And what I think is happening is that we're going from 500,000 to a much bigger number. Now, that means for some of you, maybe you don't know me that well, all of you, but I've been involved in a couple of different networks on the corporate side. I was involved in one that built 2 or 3 million signups. I was involved in a Chinese company called Tien's that at the time that I was there had 20 million distributors. So I kind of have seen the big things. One of the things that that we are doing next is we're going for the big mass market. One of the things that we're launching in Cambodia will be a tool to help us do that. See, we have a marketplace for Leo coin that sits alongside our education and our e-learning and our live seminars and the good life-changing stuff that we do together with our causes program around the charity and about children's education. We kind of have a holy mix of very, very good things, but digital currencies at the moment is the thing that people are excited by. What we have is a program that will create such an interest in our digital currency endeavors that I see that we are going to now win the battle to get the aunts and the uncles involved. We are going to hyper incentivize people to go out and recruit people into the Leo coin community, as well as into our products and into our product sales. But what we're going to do is we're going to go from 500,000, a small circle, to a much bigger number. Now, if you consider that we have a staking business model around our Leo coin, where you get extraordinary rewards for holding 50,000 coins in your wallet. If you work out the entire amount of coinage out there, and you think that if we added in 5,000 new members who all aspired to having a staking wallet at 50,000 because they get that 20% then suddenly we have a demand for Leo coin that would make your head spin. The second thing that's very interesting at the moment is that the price of Leo coin is as low as it will ever be, meaning that the minute that someone purchases a product package next week, with the special features of that, we're going to get some instant support onto the external markets. We will use part of the funds to purchase Leo coin on the external market, and that will create buying pressure on the markets. The person who bought the educational package and getting the Leo coins are getting the benefit of the price being low, so they'll get loads of coins, and the markets will also be responding to the buying pressure, which means that the price of Leo coin is likely to go up. Then when the price of Leo coin goes from its very humble point now to the next level, then it goes up and it goes up and it goes up. And suddenly we have a newsworthy story. We have a 7-year business that has a 4-year or 5-year digital currency that has always existed on the blockchain, that is not a hanky-panky thing, that is not a scam. I think that our market is going to go absolutely massive. Now, what I have always explained to people is there is no magic button anywhere where we can just press a button and the price of Leo coin will go up in value. But I've also said that the size of the economy determines the value of the coin. So how do we build the big community? How do we build economy? We build up by building our community and getting more people involved in this. This is what we do in direct selling. We recruit and we train people and we motivate them. So what will then happen is that the price will respond in a logical fashion to having a larger community engaged with our business. Everything happens for a reason and everything comes together at just the right time. Your challenges define you more than your victories. The difficulties that you face create the person that you become, not your successes. So the challenge that we face as a business, every time we've gone through a period like this, we've always come out the other side and risen up. The challenges that I've faced on a personal level, none of you have anything to complain on, because I have had to face some very, very tough times for the betterment of our business, for the betterment of our reputation. And I'm just about to come through all of that. And that will be part of the story and the mix as we go forward. So next week in Cambodia is a very, very important week. And that's really when our business goes to the next level. So this is the time to hold strong. This is the time where I remind you that the members are the heart of our business, and we have never let our members down. We have always stood for what I believe in, which is that there's no success that comes in direct selling without our members getting that success first. Even now, we have people in many different countries that have had extraordinary success and bought houses and bought properties and set their children through school and educations. All of this stuff is real. We're also helping underprivileged children with their educational needs, and we're also educating the world one brain at a time. We're at a good place, and we've come through some very, very tough times, and we are just about to turn that corner where we go and rocket to the next level. And it's not something that's going to happen slowly. It's something that's going to happen fast, where we're going into a mass market in a different way from what we've seen for the preceding 7 years. So it's kind of a pivotal moment now for our business. And for me, I'm very, very excited about the future. I was explaining to someone the other day that I am now 59 years old, and I have a 10-10-10 plan. That means that for the next 10 years, I'm going to be working like a dog to build our future together as CEO of this organization. Having gone through all of the grit between the glass and all of the challenges that we faced in the last 2 years, I'm now ready to go to the next level. I have built up my fitness. I am strong. I'm younger than I ever have been. And I'm going to be driving this business for the next 10 years as the CEO. The next 10 years of my 10-10-10 plan is I want to be the older president. I'll be, obviously in 10 years time, be 69 years old, and I'll be that guy that rocks up at your big meetings and comes to your conventions that you are organizing for your downline of thousands of people, and I'll be that guy. Here's the old president. He's a fantastic fella. And then my final 10 years, I just want to be tending my garden, looking after a dog, maybe sailing a little bit around the world and stuff. But that's the time when I might write some books and what have you. So my plan is a 10-10-10 plan. And the next 10 years are critical, because that's when we can do something absolutely extraordinary together. So grit your teeth, face the challenges, stand with the company. This is the time when we go to the next level, and we're just about to do that. And you will see, and you will mark my words. So thank you very much for your kind attention. I will love you and leave you here, and wish you all every success. And I hope to meet all of you next week in Cambodia. And God bless, and have a very, very successful week or two.